Hello everyone from Chelsea Fan TV, my name is Alex, I'm outside Stamford Bridge after a 1-0 win against Fulham. I've got Dan on my right, Jacob on my left side. We'll start with you, Dan. Mate, I mean, it's a good result, but it's certainly not the first time that we're going to be having this conversation about the performance. I mean, let's just break it down.
Sure. First things first, good to be back on. I think we've got to take 3 points. We look at the table after today's game. Obviously got a game against most teams now. They've all got a game in hand against us pretty much. But 8th, 3 points off like 5th, 6th, looks pretty healthy, right? It looks okay if you consider how negative some things have felt from our season. But if you look at the game really in depth, again, we're questioning Poch, we're questioning in-game management, we're questioning tactics prior to the game. We're questioning the fact that we've had, I think, like 17 shots today, or something like that, or 17 attempts, and we've only scored from a penalty. So it's like the same again. Strikers probably not been good enough. It's just difficult to watch Chelsea at the moment and feel a real sense that this is the right way that we should continue at the moment. I think I look at certain players and I see them stepping up, improving, and I see certain players, they're kind of just very statutory at the moment in terms of where they are in their careers and are they progressing. We've signed all these players as potential. We've got 700 to £1 billion worth of potential, right? So we all now know watching this that potential is no longer the answer. So when it comes to the transfer window that's open right now, we shouldn't be looking at potential. We should be looking at players that can come in and sort out the problems that we're having in games like today. So that's massive for me, because I think the point I'm getting to is inexperience again today is the reason that we've only been able to score from a penalty. That's just not good enough going forwards against Fulham are a good side. The one thing I will say is I can watch Fulham come to the Bridge today and understand what Silva is asking from his team, asking how they're going to play, how they're going to attack, and how they're going to work their chances. When I watch Chelsea under Pochettino, I see us holding the ball in areas that are, there's no threat from the areas that they're in. We lack any incisiveness on the ball. There was one pass I remember really that sticks in my head from Cole Palmer that was to Sterling for the penalty, right? That's one pass out of 55% possession, say. It's got to be somewhere around that, because Fulham actually got back into the game. They had a better second half than they did first. I feel like we hold on to the ball in areas that just aren't important, and I feel like, is that what Pochettino's asking from the team, or is it that the players are really lacking in making the decision to move the ball from the area where we're holding it? It's always in and around the halfway line, and you start seeing players from the central areas drift out to where the fullbacks are. You see Broja drift from striker into the wide channels. You see Cole Palmer drift out into the wide channels. Conor Gallagher, Enzo, they're just drifting out into the wide areas because that's where we're holding onto the ball for far too long. And time again, when the ball is played through the middle to your Caicedo, to your Conor Gallagher, they refuse to turn on the ball and then look to play that incisive pass forwards. And it's just repeat time and time again under Poch. I look back at Caicedo because I'm struggling with him right now, and I look back at the player he was at Brighton, and I've watched so much footage, and we're just not seeing that at Chelsea. Like, you watch that footage back, you can see the reason we signed Caicedo for that money, right? He's turning on the ball, he's press resistant. At Chelsea, I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing a lot of one-touch, two-touch passes, which is good. It's improvement on where he started for Chelsea, but it's still not enough. And I think that comes from the fact that as a team, we are so unclear of our game plan in the attacking final third. And I think that's why we lack any clinical types of we just lack that clinical type of performance to our game week in, week out. And we come back here and we're moaning about the fact that we've had chances again, or we've created chances, and no one's able to put them in the back of the net.
I have to agree. I mean, ready-made players, it's a simple solution, which we would have easily done under Abramovich, but under Bowley it's a different animal.
Well, absolutely, although I'm Pocho, I don't know why was Chilwell at left wing. Right, we've had why is Cole at left back? And I've had people telling me, well, where's the left back? They didn't rate Maatson. Right now we've got Chilwell, who's back from injury. I'm not saying start him. I'd say he's in, but and we put him at left wing. This manager hasn't got a clue. Now, like Pochettino, I was actually looking at your career. He's done some really good things. Like I've looked at his career and he's had ups and downs. And he took Espanyol, we're talking like years back, from a team that was literally looking at relegation almost 90% to like a mid-table team. Now, why can't you take us from a mid-table team to Europe? Now, first of all, I know we're like 3 points off Europe, like Europa League, Conference League, whatever, but 5th, 6th, but we should be there already. Look. And I know a lot of people are like, well, you spent £1 billion, and a lot of people are like, don't agree with that. But you got to look at the reality. Now, I know it'll take time to start winning a lot, but look, she spent £1 billion, I want more improvement.
Oh, I think that's totally justified, Jacob. I mean, what's the answer then? Spend more money?
No, because maybe that's the problem. These players haven't gelled. We definitely need a striker though. Broja just doesn't do it for me. Like, I don't rate him that high. I don't think the manager does that much if they're taking him off and Cole Palmer's going up front or whatever. He's a brilliant advanced playmaker. He could almost do a box-to-box. Why put him up front, please? Why is he going up front? He went up front for a bit here. Yeah. Please, someone help this guy. Put from sense up to him. I don't rate Butch. I actually like some of the. I like the assistant manager and I like some of the people in like the coaching team, but I don't like Poch isn't it for me. Like, now, thing is, you can't go and sack him after you win 1-0 because then they'll look absolutely stupid just not doing it over Borough. But I think he made mistakes. Although he won, I still think he didn't do that great of a managerial job today. Cole left back, although Cole at left back, we've been seeing it for so long. It's like I don't even come on Chelsea Fan TV and moan about it that much.
Yeah, we're getting used to it now.
Oh, we are getting used to it.
When do you sack him, Jacob? When do you sack Poch, Jacob?
I'd have sacked him already. I'd have sacked him after Borough. I probably would have sacked him earlier.
You wanted to sack him after Wolves.
Exactly. But obviously you can't really sack him just after you've just won against like our next door neighbours, can you? Like, so because it'll make the owners look stupid. And I think
I mean, this is the thing. I heard, like, I don't know how true this is, but I heard from someone that's very, very much connected in the club that he would have been sacked if he lost. Pochettino, which surprised me, to be honest with you. Like, nobody knows the truth, but that's what I heard. I mean, everyone's split on this. If you are going to get rid of a manager, though, I mean, what a terrible time to do it.
Yeah, I agree. I think right now, the best man to give us the chance of winning the Carabao Cup, which I think is really important, is Pochettino. And I've said from the beginning of the season that that's where he has to prove to me that he's got it, right? If he can come in and win that competition, and that's our focus, and that's what we've been focused on, it's silverware, and he returns silverware to the club, then I'm happy to back him. But I need to see that he's proving that he is the right man to do something for this club. Right now, our performances and where we're going, they've just been so hit and miss all season that, like what Jacob's saying, there's times when we've been awful, like Middlesbrough midweek, that's unacceptable. That is a sackable offence, right? And managers have gone from Chelsea in the past under previous era.
The problem is if we keep seeing performances like that from the management and the players.
100%, and then that's when I think the call has to happen. I don't think it would have been the right time to sack Poch if we'd have lost today, not at all. I think we would have been deflated, but then I think who do you get in? Who can seriously lift this squad? We saw Lampard come in last season and we all thought that he would lift the squad from Potter. I think it's fair to say it got worse under Frank last season when he come in. So that obviously showed that it didn't really work, because this squad isn't the winners that we had before when you'd get in Hiddink or you'd get in Di Matteo and turn things around. This squad isn't that anymore. This squad don't know how to do that. And I think we aren't going to get that huge jump, new manager bounce that we've had previous years. I think realistically, we give Poch the final and see where we're at. If we can get to the final and we can make something happen and come out with silverware, then or we have a really good game and we showed up, then I think we can say at least we're going somewhere, right? We've got another final and we're moving up the table. do we just have to give this squad and the manager time to all gel? But standards at Chelsea are higher than losing to Middlesbrough in a semi-final tie, who are in a league below.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Jacob, what would you do if Poch gets to the final? I mean,
If he wins it, you know what, and we win a few next games, you know what, and I will say in front of all the thousands of people that are watching, I was wrong. But at the end of the day, I just don't see it like at the moment. Like if we get to a final, I'll say to him, fair enough, you know what I mean. But at the end of the day, like we have had a bit of an easy run, you could say. Like, I know Newcastle were a hard team, but they had players injured. But we can't. But let's be honest. We make excuses that we're injured, and their players of them are injured. So, but I would, if we win, I'll say fair enough. But I reckon with our run we should have, we probably should have got to the final. I'm not win it, because let's be honest, we all know that Liverpool will end up being in the final. But if we get to the final, then fair enough. But I hope we do. But honestly, when we're losing teams like 1-0 against Borough, what hope have we got to have against Liverpool? That's if we beat Borough. Who says we're going to go to Borough? They're not just going to sit deep, probably being 0-0, and then they'll sing I'm in the final. Then they'll probably end up losing like 4-1.
well, I don't want that to happen, but we'll see.